On sale now at the K2D4 Network store. We have a wide range of shirts to get the message out to the public. The Disclosure Now with Fisty, break through the wall of suppression. End the cover-up with UFO T. Let the public know that there is more going on than we know. And it is time to bring out the suppressed technologies and advance civilization once and for all. The signature, talk is cheap, it's time for disclosure. The Disclosure/Now T. Very simple but very effective message. It is time to change the world, and let's begin right now. And last but not least, the official K2D4 Network shirt. Support the broadcast and get yours at K2D4Network.com.
Space Force. He's a man. Crazy stuff, right?
Wild women, the ripping and the tearing.
It's all happening.
There's no words on it. We'll do it live. That's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Emerging. All right, go.
Welcome to Talk is Cheap, ladies and gentlemen, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap. I'm your host, Dan Hofeld. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today is a little spur of the moment because I did plan on pre-recording a big guest, but he has not shown up, so I don't know what happened with that, if he got cold feet. You know, you get some people that are in these, they have stuff and they're afraid to come out with it. It was going to be big, folks. I hope he still wants to do it, but whatever. I was set up, ready to go. I figured, well, I'm here. Why not just go live, talk to you guys? I want to open the phone lines wide up. So call me, and then we can have a discussion. You can talk about anything you want. I got a few topics I'm going to hit here before we take a few calls, but let's just open it up, have fun here, and that's what this is all about. I got the live chat over here. And, oh, Brad, hi, in the chat. He's watching as well. Must be watching at lunchtime. Yeah, so you can call in 1-605-562-0444. That's the Midwest number. You can also click in the description below. We got local numbers for where you are, and that'll be free of charge. Get the one closest to you. Enter your PIN 146509#, and then we'll get you up on the air to talk to me live. Let's just have fun with this. I just want to basically kind of go on a little rant here because, oh man, I was just thinking about these hurricanes, and it's like, they're happening one after another and after another. And I know Corey Good said that this stuff was going to happen and to be prepared for it. And as I can see that, yeah, it does happen. We do have the technologies to make this go away. They have cloud seeding. I think it was back in the 80s it was admitted, maybe even the 70s, I think, where they can seed a cloud with, I believe it was some kind of condenser. Was it? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to look that up again, folks. But anyway, you can stop rain, you can make rain by a simple cloud seeding with airplanes. Now, it's like, this was a perfect opportunity for Trump to do something about that. You know, we were having hurricanes after hurricanes, and I do believe that this is part of the deep state pushing against Trump to try to push this climate change thing. So, oh, look at, he's not doing anything about the climate change and all this. Oh, we're having all this bad weather and he doesn't care. This is what he should have did, and this is why I want to rant on this so bad. He could have said, all right, we're having all these hurricanes, citizens of the U.S., what can we do about it? Well, our scientists have been studying some experiments, because he doesn't have to say that we've been having it since then. He can just come out with it like it's something new, because we got to get this disclosure rolling. He could have said, all right, we got these cloud seeding technology. We're going to try it. This is the first time. We don't know if it's going to work. Send the planes up to stop these hurricanes, seed them. They stopped. Hey, that worked. That would open people's minds up, start getting things to change, and then you could start releasing other technology. It'd be a perfect snowball. Instead, we keep getting hit. And it's like, what's going on here? You could have had the deep state put them in their place because they keep getting away with this. And I do really think that they're enhancing these hurricanes and slamming them right into there. There was a dude on James Gilliland's show the other hurricane, I believe it was Florence, that hit South Carolina there, North Carolina. And he's like, was talking to somebody in the know, and they're like, watch when this gets to the coast. Just watch it. What happened? It stalled there, and it kept building up. And it's like, that doesn't happen like hardly ever. And so then they're also saying that we were doing some stuff to the Chinese, and then there was that one over in the Philippines that slammed up against there. So we're having this all-out war going on between all these nations, and for what? So these big guys can sit off with their cigars, and it's like, what are we getting done here? We need to take a step up. Trump needs to go, all right, we're gonna try these new experiments. Just come out like with that they're new, because I know this disclosure thing's got to be so damn slow. Come out with them like they're new and say, all right, we're going to do this. Give an experiment, it stops. Oh my God, the people would be so relieved that they didn't lose their houses. And how many lives did we lose over this? This is insane. And yes, we got people are saying in the chat room here, I'm watching you guys. Disclosure now. Yes, exactly. That's why I made that shirt. The signature shirt of mine. It says, talk is cheap. It's time for disclosure, because we can sit and talk about this stuff all day, but it is time to hit the hammer and bring this stuff out, because it goes crazy. I mean, how much longer is this stuff going to go on? But I'm going to go over to, we got a caller. Let's just go ahead and take a call right now. Caller 289, you're on the air.
Hi, Dan. It's Michelle Wolf calling, the Imagination Warrior. How are you?
Hey, Michelle. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I thought I haven't spoken to you a little while. I just saw your thing pop up there, so I figured I'd be your first caller today, and just chime in and see what's up with you.
So what do you think about all this slow disclosure stuff?
You know, it's so hard to say, Dan, and I think it's funny because we haven't heard anything since October 9th from Q. And I know, one of the last explanations was letting us know to, understand the bigger picture of things, and that things have to be played out in a certain time. I mean, the pot's definitely boiling as far as, the masses coming to the realization that these things are going to spill over. Like it's so close. I think it really is. I was just talking to Angel from the Mile High podcast. I'm going to be on with him later today. And, it's just so close. It's at the tipping point. I literally feel like, any day this month, whether it's 5 minutes from now or tomorrow, or it could just be so many things at any time, and not even just one thing or one revelation coming out. I think that there is a multitude of revelations on all different levels of this, umbrella in the awakening that are going to come into people's awareness within the next very short few weeks.
Absolutely. I'm just ready to see something concrete myself. Like, we keep hearing about, we do see the arrests and stuff, and then QAnon talks about that. And like you said, QAnon hasn't said anything in a week now. That's pretty interesting there.
So something's going on. Yeah. And I think that because we haven't heard something, I think for me that portrays more that there is actually something going on as opposed to nothing going on. I think it can feel like when we don't, you're not getting the feedback and not seeing, all the details, we can feel a little left behind, and maybe that things aren't transpiring. But I think that sometimes the less you hear, the more that's going on. I'll tell you, as a mom of 3 kids, when things get quiet, shit's going down.
It's all happening.
Right?
It is, brother. It is, brother. I know you like your little chime-ins there. I'm working on my next Q spotting video or Trump rally video. I've seen another few interesting faces. I know I was on with you talking about the JFK and Fusca, a few months ago. I think it's probably about 3 months ago now we talked about that. But I've been seeing a few more rallies and seeing a few more interesting faces. So I'm working on one of those too. You should have that out by the end of the week. I'll see what you think about that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that our video took off again about JFK Jr. So I don't know if it got pushed out in the public or somebody
Mine
reposted it
too.
somewhere. So that's interesting there.
It's really funny. Yeah, because the last time that I was on with you, I had just, we touched on it briefly, the video I had just done on Lauren Bessette. And it did really well at first, and it stalled out a bit. But then now, the attention, the JFK thing is really getting people's attention because, well, it's about, I think the last time I checked, I'm close to 75,000 views now on that. So it really did pick up again. And I know that ours that we did as well too. Last I looked in, it was 90,000. So it definitely was getting a lot of people's interest, and there's a lot more people talking about. The conversation seems to have picked up again, and I think that we're seeing the evidence of people really looking closely at these rallies, listening and watching, and looking behind the bigger picture to see the details in everything that is going on. When you pick up that and you see the amount of things that are just sneakily, cheekily kind of tucked in corners, it really, again, I think comes back to showing you how much is being done, how much detail work is being done in this. And I think if Q can teach you anything on how quantum the concepts are, it really is a quantum takedown. This is our introduction to a new quantum way of living and seeing how we quantumly take down the deep state, which is a linear way of being. It's a dinosaur, certainly on its last breath with all legs broken. So,
well, they said that since they get Kavanaugh on there, and we were hearing about this with the Q stuff, that people said they got to get Kavanaugh in there, so they're going to start these tribunals and stuff. And I thought this stuff was going to happen before the midterms, but now it looks like we're too close to the midterms for that to happen, so they're not going to want to.
You know what? I'm thinking after. I've been thinking that since the beginning, because think about it. Wouldn't you want to stack the deck as much as possible before really going to do the big takedown? Wouldn't you want that house of cards to be, as much the majority of your hand as opposed to theirs? And so it makes sense. Why not seal the fate with such a unanimous tidal wave of decision that it will happen so quickly? Then it will speed things up at that point, because when you've got all the cards, well, then the game's done. Game's all yours. So I think that's what's going on, and I think that why not bide your time till that election, and
exactly.
It'll every voice will be heard. Really, then I think predominantly saying that's it. It's time to go. And they'll be ready for that takedown. They'll want that takedown at that time. Yeah. And that he will have all the backing in the world at that time to do it.
Yeah, we need it. But some people are so far beyond gone. What do you do? It's crazy.
Don't worry about them. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your breath. Don't waste your energy. Focus on those that are asking questions.
That's right.
And answer the questions. Yeah. And I think, being aware of the agenda, this liberal, agenda of victimization and moral outrage and self-justified indignity that they seem to constantly feel entitled to parade around, like children having temper tantrums, it's just, people are seeing this. It reminds me of when I did some looking into Scientology and all the documentaries with their manifesto of anybody that is not within their belief system of their community, including family members, including previous church members. Basically, their manifesto is there is no civility, just like what's her cow said, right? That there's no, civility is not required, and it seems to be they literally feel justified to this type of behavior. It seems kind of interesting to me that most of Hollywood has such a strong Scientology basis, and it seems to be their platform to say and do whatever it is you want to harass somebody that doesn't agree with you. But if somebody says anything you don't like, oh my good Lord, everybody stop the presses, right?
So did
I think
did
people
Canada?
have had enough and are seeing it for what it is, just like they're seeing Scientology for what it is.
Absolutely. So I got to ask because one of the people in the chat room said Canada just legalized marijuana. Is that correct?
Yes! It's a happy day. That's the other reason I had to call in.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a happy day of celebration.
So this is completely like recreational legal too?
Oh, yeah. Like I can walk to the dispensary. I can take my dogs for a walk.
Wow.
And it's cheaper and it's cleaner and it's safer. And you know what? I don't have to be looked at as a criminal because I choose to smoke marijuana, which for
Right.
me is it's something I've done for years and years and for many reasons. And it's even a spiritual practice for me. So keeps me off medication for pain and a multitude of other things. It's certainly better than taking pills. So it's about time that people are allowed to make their own personal choices without other people deciding for them what they should or shouldn't believe or do within their own home, their own business, their own body, their own self, right?
Well, I got to be honest. I was thinking in the U.S. that it would have like domino affected quicker, but they're holding up pretty well, these states, at not letting it happen. I really thought, because I think what did it start in 2008? That's freaking 10 years ago now. I thought we'd had a little more than what we got.
Well, I think it is kind of another representation of the division, in your country, in belief systems. I think that I'm hoping that division is decreasing for you, because people are getting tired of the tactics, seeing them what they are, and you can choose love as opposed to division. That doesn't make you weak. That makes you stronger. That makes you smarter. That makes you better. We don't all have to agree on the same things, but we can agree to let each other have our say in respect and dignity, without mudslinging and name calling and everything else that's going on. So people have a right to think and feel and say and express themselves. And a lot of people that are really intelligent, creative, outside of the box thinkers, it's easy for them to be labeled crazy. It's easy for just years and years of that sort of mentality. If you think outside the box, outside of society and the way that they deem normal, then you're crazy and the problem is you. But history has shown throughout that true genius comes with a little bit of eccentricity, and that's what makes it so interesting. So let's all be unique. Let's all be eccentric in our own ways. Be free to love ourselves. Be proud of who we are, and be free to love everybody else. And
Well said.
That's, I think, my word of the day. I think that's my message of the day.
So before you get off the phone here, real quick, have you had any more visions of the future?
This time of year, I'm telling you, like from the dreams, a lot of the energy dreams. It's this time of year. Like I hear the sound of the wind and the way it's moving, like the leaves, everything. I've had some dreams that, I've told you before, my dreams are very, very lucid, very real, very, very powerful to me. They're real experiences. And I've had a few experiences with the energy, that's coming in, and the big changes that are happening. And it's always been this time of year. So I think it is exciting times. I think that's as much detail as I'll give you today. I know all of your audience isn't into the to the eccentric things that I do like to talk about. I like to cover a wide range of things, right? A lot of that is dream work, but I think this is a very poignant time in history. I think by the end of this year, I know what feels like it's taking too long. I think that we're going to look back over the course of the year and see how fast things did happen. You know, it's in the moment. You know, it's like being that kid, you know, Christmas Eve, and you can't sleep all night. It's like the longest night of your life. But when you get up Christmas morning, that whole day goes by like a blink of an eye. And I think that's kind of going to be our experience by the end of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm ready for something to break. So if it's gonna do it, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Correct.
I have a feeling a few things will be breaking all at the you know, it'll be a domino effect, like you said.
I'm ready for it. We need to rip that Band-Aid off and just give her
yeah.
hell. Yeah. All right, Michelle, thank you for calling in.
I've done a video, I want to let you know, too, with the Q, when the sky is falling. There's something going on about looking up. So I'm putting together a video on that, because sky is falling in gematria is 144. And he's brought up you know, I know you saw he brought up Q as far as answering the Roswell question, the moon landing question. Why is he choosing to answer these questions now at this time? You know, one of the last few messages, he's reiterated sky is falling, which to me means look up. I'm not saying I know what's going on, but I'm saying he's pointing up in that direction. Everybody is looking, seeing strange things, whether it's clouds, objects, or things that just don't seem normal to them. And I think that whatever it is coming from that direction as far as information and new revelations. Yeah, so I'll leave you with that. New revelations are coming from the sky, I believe.
All right, so you're going to be live with Angel today, you said. When is that? How long?
He said it depends on his gym workout.
Okay. Wow, he's pretty fluid then.
Oh, yeah. So but later on today, he's Mountain Time, I'm Eastern Standard Time, so probably about 7 Eastern.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Michelle, thank you for calling in. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, come check me out at the Imagination Warrior. Thanks, Dan, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you for your call.
All right, that number again is, folks, 1-605-562-0444, 1-605-562-0444. We'll get you in on the air with us. Enter your PIN number 146509#. All right, I wanted to get back to the Stars Academy stuff, because I've actually backed off from this for a little while, because I was like, all right, let them do what they got to do, see what happens. And now it's just been like, what are you guys doing? Give me a break here. It's been taken forever. We're talking about a year. Really, we're coming up on a year that this was all announced and it was published in the New York Times. And what's going on? So we got a couple of videos. They released a couple of these videos. It's like, what is this? What is this stuff, right?
This is insane!
So here's the first video I want to play. It's like, what is going on? It's not even like...
Stuff I think is going to... it has the potential, if it ends up being real, it has potential for being A, very dangerous that we have it, and B, shake things up quite a bit.
I find it very interesting that there are people out there who absolutely are convinced that they've seen what they've seen. And for that reason, I'm willing to listen. And again, that doesn't mean run to the hills with your hand in the air screaming that the aliens are coming or aliens are coming. No one's even mentioned the word aliens. We're not talking about aliens. We're not talking about
I didn't want to say
extraterrestrial life. We're simply saying that there is something out there in our airspace we don't control. We don't know what the hell it is. And so if it's not the eyewitness reports, and it's not the videos, and it's not the electro-optical data, and it's not the electromechanical data, well, all right, how about material? Will that be enough? What you all are agreeing to do is to allow us, TTSA, to maintain temporary control of the material for the purposes of science.
So they're hyping this thing up. We got material. Let's make this big video production. This is a big video production, folks. As you can tell, I'm into all this stuff. I know what it takes. This is a lot of work to get this, and they show nothing in here.
Analysis and research. And then I have additional protection here. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's all lead shielded, RF, everything. We can continue to protect it rather than getting to fly home. I get to drive 18 hours now with this stuff.
To make it look like you can't trust flying on a plane with it because somebody might steal it.
there's a little bit of an uneasiness about carrying this stuff around, not really knowing what it is, where it's from. I think the possibility is exciting. Now, it could turn out to be a part of a alternator of a 1984 Cadillac. All right, you really never know. But I think we have to handle all these things as if they are legitimate. Hi, Lisa. Code 2. Repeat. Code 2. Have a nice day. I made it very clear to the owners of the material that the material was going to be.
By the way, for these shots, this is how this stuff works. You're riding with the person. Let me get out, run ahead. You drive back, and let me get you driving in.
It was going to be analyzed from a physical perspective, physical properties, and then it was going to be looked at from molecular characteristics and structure, and then depending on what those results came back, we may look at its nuclear properties, i.e. the actual atomic structure itself. There appears to be some trace amounts of some very interesting elements, and we have to follow the data and the facts. Let's see where that data leads us. I don't want to speculate or go down that path because, obviously the likelihood of it being from here is probably a lot greater than the likelihood of it being not from here.
Oh, so he's backing off a little bit now. This is what Luis Elizondo's known for. He pushes far, saying it's not from here, and then he'll pull back and say it's from here.
But nonetheless, it's a possibility. In the end, really, this is a journey about all of us and for all of us, not just a particular company or a group of guys that are going out and collecting a bunch of rocks. How we take this information, whether it winds up being real or not real or somewhere in the middle, ultimately it's a conversation that people need to have amongst themselves on how as a society we feel about the notion that maybe we're not the only ones.
Okay, so what do you think there, folks? They didn't show anything. It was an epic video production. I'll give them that. Very epic. Didn't show anything. All right, hyped you up. That was published back in. Actually, that was just in August. That one. So that was recently. Then there was another one here in September 19th. That one was almost about a month ago now. And here we go once again. Same stuff.
Hey. Because the expectations are huge. When the expectations are extremely high, performance has to follow. And so performing is key to me now.
We have multiple samples now from multiple sources, ranging a wide variety of integrity. Even if the material goes nowhere, people are beginning to provide us things. Wow, that is more brilliant than I thought.
What's different about the activity?
Oh, you gotta censor that out? You gotta make sure to blur that out so no one sees it.
Is that the field out there is really filled with people who have opinions and thoughts and beliefs about what all this kind of stuff means and so on. But TTSA has been put together on the basis of the mantra, you might say, let's just follow the data and see where it goes.
It is a bit like a fine art.
Follow data all day. We gotta act.
Chances
there it is again. Look at that. Pause that. Censored. What is that? What is this stuff?
Look at that guy.
Come on. We want to start disclosure. We need to start it. It's been a year, and now we're just gonna sit here and we're trying to figure out what this stuff is, even though the DOD has been researching this stuff for frickin' ever. Come on.
Comes to you and says, I have a lost Picasso, and it's probably someone's finger painting that they did in high school. But occasionally and rarely, and it only takes one time, you find that Picasso locked away in someone's attic or someone's basement and they didn't know they had it.
My whole career was about solving really hard problems. This is a hard problem from so many different directions. It's technically not understood, socially not understood. And so we're on an inflection point now of an opportunity to do something really, really, really different.
And so I think that that's why we have a chance of actually making real progress, because we will follow where the data leads us.
I want to make sure that I have a healthy dose of skepticism to make sure I'm not blindly accepting something because it's cool or neat or new or something like that, that the data supports the decisions that we make, the dots that we connect, the moves that we make. But I see a diligence being applied to this that gives me optimism.
That was a photo op there. Act like we're thinking. Go over there and film quick.
We may cautiously optimistic be, on the brink of something really new. We have to do this the right way, and the right way isn't necessarily the right now way.
Yeah, let's wait 100 years before we bring this stuff out, because we got to argue about how we have climate change, which is debatable. Well, there is climate change, but man-made climate change. And in the meantime, let's charge everybody carbon taxes, trying to get all this stuff figured out here. It doesn't end. It never ends. These people been in these projects. Steve Justice was in the Skunk Works. Come on, bring some stuff out. Then there was this video. I shouldn't just keep showing videos because I'm probably boring the hell out of you guys. But I'm just trying to make a point here that where's the fruit? We need to see the fruit.
Keep notes on what kind of details we see. Is there evidence of, nanoengineering or whatever?
Help put off.
There's certain straightforward, simple things we can do, like measuring conductivity through different surfaces, and that kind of stuff.
The way this guy explains it, it's like it's your old physics teacher.
Chemical constituents, and so for that we have X-ray fluorescence analyzers, which bombard the material with X-rays to excite the nuclei, and then the radiation coming off the nuclei in response have certain signature lines, and those get plotted out. So if it's magnesium or iron or copper or zinc.
All right, I'm not going to bore you guys any longer with that. I just wanted to show that they're just talking about looking at this stuff. This one was released September 12th. I mean, this was supposed to be a big thing here. I originally thought when I made that video, I think it was back in July or February, somewhere in there, where I talked about, all right, this is going to go quick, because you could see it was going to go quick the way they were dominoing it, and then it just stopped. It froze because the next step is the materials. And once you test those materials, it's boom. And now they're just waiting and waiting and waiting. What are we waiting for? I mean, this could go on forever. But so Luis Elizondo, I think this was a UFO conference. And this is another double speak of him. He's a good double speaker. I like him, but to an extent, but at the same time, he's controlled and he's pulling back. Where he says, okay, you guys are the UFO guys. You guys know that this stuff's real, blah, blah. So he kind of goes to like, okay, this is UFOs. And then later in this presentation, he's like, no, it's not UFOs. And he kind of pulls back again. Let's just watch. I got a few clips we'll just play of this. If anybody wants to call in and chime in on this stuff, please, by all means, don't hesitate. This is... You tell me what you make out of this stuff, because this is a big, big joke. And I want to hear some other views on it. So here's Luis Elizondo going to the stage at a UFO conference.
I promise I will try not to yammer on too long. But I think the same time next year, we're going to have a fundamentally different conversation. I think disclosure already occurred. I don't think necessarily disclosure is an event. I think it's a process. And I think that process began. With that said, I'd like to go ahead and start.
So there, disclosure is an event, it's a process. So he's basically saying, yeah, this is disclosure. And then later on he'll go, no, this is not disclosure. Thank you for the subscription, Boom Boom 781. So okay, first clip, 22:15. So now this is where he talks about, is ATIP a front for the Space Force? Because we kind of thought that in the UFO community. We're like, well, this could be a front to push the Space Force, to push the aliens are here to kill us so we can arm up against them.
Suit right now, and I do not look good in orange, so believe me. Okay, ATIP is a ploy for the administration's new Space Force. I don't even know where to begin with that. No. Now, could it be used to bolster that argument? Sure. Okay. In the end, if it helps us, go ahead, use it. I don't care. I think that's great. You want to say that the UAP studies is now helping us create a space force so we can go ahead and look at this problem seriously? Sign me up. Sure.
So there he goes, claims nothing to do with it. So we got a caller here. I want to bring him on, see what his take is. Area code 912. You're on the air. What do you think of all this To the Stars Academy stuff?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Tim down in Savannah again.
Yo, good to hear from you. You're a great caller last time,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, man, this stuff, it makes me laugh. It's like, it's almost like a joke, all this To the Stars stuff. Like, they're not telling us anything. Like, and that report that came out in the last week or so, which I think DeLong made a statement about, that they're like $37 million in debt or some shit. It's like, well, I don't know what they're spending money on. I mean, if this Louise guy was on the in, what are you testing these little things for and making these cheesy, like, dramatic videos?
Yeah.
Like,
are they trying to make money?
Give us some
You know, that's what this looks like.
Yeah, obviously, but they're not. Nobody's donating.
That's why they're trying to hold back and put some more production out.
I mean, yeah, you're spending money. I mean, that's
That's right.
I'm a AV guy, and it's not cheap to make these elaborate videos. Kind of like what you were saying earlier. I mean, it just, I don't know. It blows my mind. I think Tom DeLonge's off his rocker. They may know something, but I don't know.
Well, he does. He's obviously been talking to all these insiders, but I mean, to like waste his time to make these high production videos, like I said, when you're riding with somebody in an SUV, that's what you got to do to get those shots. They got to drop you off. They have to drive back. You have to film him rolling in. So he's wasting all this time. This takes time to make this stuff, especially with the color correction and all the stuff he did there.
No, yeah, of course. So I don't know what they're trying to achieve as of now, because like you were saying, it's been a year. They're stalling, like everybody.
Yeah, that's a good question. So
that's my take on that.
Did they have some stuff that was going to come forward, and now they're holding back because they weren't ready to come forward?
Well, either that or whoever the powers at be it, they're not going to let stuff out yet. I don't think. I think it's going to be a little longer, unfortunately. But I don't know, man. I love the new shirt, man. I'm going to pick one up, the fist. I love it.
Oh, that, yeah, and our disclosure / now with the fist. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that came out great, man. Cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to come up with messages
but just wanted to say, hey, man.
All right, so that was Tim, right?
Yeah.
Tim, I'll try to remember that. I got to get better with names.
And I'm a man.
Oh, yeah.
So I can remember this stuff.
All right, Dan. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, thanks, bud. See ya.
All right, later on.
Okay, thank you for your call.
All right, Tim, that was a great call. You're always a great caller. I'm glad you called in and shared that because, you know, it's just, this is what we got to do. We got to discuss this stuff. And at a certain extent, I think the white hats really want us to push this stuff forward. We got to have the discussion. Some people are saying don't focus on this stuff, but at the same time, we got to call a spade, bring this stuff out and help push that forward. Because if this is just being slow like this needs to get talked about. That's half the reason the To the Stars, when they came out with the article in the New York Times, they needed people to push that forward, and it didn't happen. People didn't care. So we know that this is BS, so we're trying to help push it the right direction, if you will, because they obviously want to steer the narrative. So, all right, I want to get back to this. Now there's just a couple more clips I want to play, so I'm going to end the show pretty soon, guys. So if you do want to call in, please queue in now so we can get to you before I end the show, because I got to get ready to go to my real job. So, all right, now this is where he talks about the slowness of this. And this is what we were just talking about, how it's going to take forever. And he kind of reaffirms that here.
We have to give people trade space. Time will be necessary to allow leadership proper awareness and assessment. You cannot digest a 7-course meal in 10 minutes, folks. It takes time. Some of you had decades involved in this. So what you know to be a fact.
Oh, there goes the internet. Let me try to get rebuffered here. But yeah, he's saying it takes time for these people to digest this in these in the government. So they need to sit back and go, okay, what's this? We're an old guy up here on Capitol Hill, and we got to get this technology. What is this? UFO? What is a UFO? Yeah, we got to bring this stuff out, people, because it's time to change the world.
Involved in this. So what you know to be a fact, people are just now hearing it for the very first time. As crazy as that may seem, it's true. For some folks, the article that came out in the New York Times is the very first time they've ever actually even considered this topic, let alone our leadership.
Many didn't want to, and many didn't pay attention.
So I think you are well on the way of getting what you're seeking. I think we have tremendous momentum like never before. Now is not the time to throttle back. Now is the time to push the throttle all the way forward.
See, I agree with that, but this is where he's a double speaker, though.
If you are looking for government to give you acknowledgement and just give you full disclosure,
well, that's where it's not so much about the disclosure, it's more about the technology. We could start bringing the technology out, and then we can start bringing the disclosure out. Like I said, it could have started with the weather weapons. Boom. That would have been a nice buffer to start bringing this stuff in.
I'll tell you right here and now, the government's job is not to satisfy idle curiosity. That's not the function of the government. I know we want it to be, but that's not the case. The purpose of the government is to defend this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Now, if there's information out there that could be helpful in doing so, they're going to be involved. And if there's information out there that doesn't really relate to that mission but could be helpful to us, well, that's where we get involved. That's how we can help.
All right, so a big shout out here to the chat room real quick. We got Frank. How are you doing, Frank? Thanks for joining me. Yeah, they've been sitting back for 80 years, of course. And then I like Jesse B's comment here. 7-course meal in 10 minutes. Oh, watch me. I'm with you. I am totally with you. Bring this on. Let's just devour the whole thing and go forward. Okay, I got one last clip. So now he's talking about how there's going to be a different discussion next year. So maybe they have some notice about what's going to happen. Hold on there, caller. I'm going to finish this last clip and I will get to you. Stay on the line. So this is, let's listen to this real quick.
My purpose here was simply to give you a broad overview. I am confident and I am cautiously.
Buffer, ladies and gentlemen.
Give you a broad overview. I am confident and I am cautiously optimistic that in the next year we are going to have a fundamentally different conversation than we're having today.
He seems pretty confident.
I think there's going to be additional fidelity to a lot of the things that have come out recently that are going to help us have a better understanding of what it is we're actually seeing here.
So what does he know? Does he know something that they're going to bring forward? We'll have to find out, I guess. Caller 484, area code. You are on the air. Worldwide.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. I just want to say one thing, at the end of the show. One time I ate a 7-course meal in 10 minutes, and the only thing I got was explosive diarrhea, and my fucking hemorrhoid popped right out of my ass.
That can happen. That can happen, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm willing to take the risk. I want to take that risk. Bring it on. And it doesn't hurt me any.
Correct.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
So, let's bring this conversation here and keep it coming. So thank you to everybody for joining me. I don't think anybody else wants to chime in. So I'll close out the show. I got to get prepared for my job, quote unquote. It's all happening. That's right. It's all happening. Thank you guys for joining me. I think we were, what, 62 strong right now. Appreciate the support, folks. If you want to help out the broadcast, please go over. There's 3 different ways you can support the channel now. You can do a one-time donation through PayPal. You can buy merch, which you get something back. And I also started a Patreon due to the audience's request. So you can do a monthly subscription. And there's some 3 different tiers there, 1, 5, and 10. And I threw some discounts on for the store if you do that as well. So definitely appreciate the support and you guys joining me today. And yeah, let's just look forward to disclosure and keep asking questions and keep this stuff coming. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.